I came to Brevard Community College in 1994. The assistant coach at the time had passed. I called the current coach and asked if he was going to replace him, and he said, "Yeah, you're hired," and then became the men's head coach in the fall of 2002. Somebody who's willing. They all want pretty much the same thing. If they don't want to be a professional, they want to be successful. They usually want, the nice house. They want the fancy cars. They want, a lot of the bling that might go along with it. I'm looking more for somebody who's willing to maybe sacrifice a little bit to chase that. I'm looking for somebody that shows up early, stays late. I'm probably looking for somebody that's maybe a little less chatty and a little more active. I honestly don't know that I can answer that I wanted to be a coach. I kind of became a coach. I always wanted to be a professional golfer. In the world of professional golf, you have two types. You have golf professionals that are working the golf clubs, the club pro that takes care of the members, and you have professional golfers, the folks you see on television. So my whole young life, my goal was to be on TV one day. I wanted to be a professional golfer. I was fortunate. I did that for 12 years. Had a wife, started to have a family. I probably needed something a little more steady than what I was doing. I was a journeyman at best, and kind of became a coach more so out of need than out of the first desire. And then over the course of those 8 years being an assistant coach, I don't know that I could pinpoint when, but at some point in time I thought, I could do this. They have to be themselves. They can't just be a mirror image of the coach. It's an incredibly fragile time for 18, 19, and 20-year-olds. They've gone from being an adolescent to now we're going to call them adults. They're going to make some adolescent choices. They're going to do some things that are still residue of being a kid. And you have to let them make a couple mistakes. And as long as they don't make the same mistake again and again, you're fine, because they're going to learn from it. They're going to move on. Then the talent's probably the easiest thing in the world to coach. I mean, good talent, you want to stay out of the way of it more than anything. The folks that need a little bit of help, you also have to recognize not everybody learns at the same pace. Some will grasp it and move quicker. Others, they're plodders. They take a little longer to get there. So the philosophy would be you always have to adapt. You always have to adjust. I'll say to you right now, 19 years into this, today's 18 and 19-year-olds are incredibly different than just 5 years ago. Forget 19 years ago. It's always nice to come home with somebody else's trophy in the van. That's as enjoyable as it gets for the team. You get to share those moments. The van rides home, they're a lot of fun. The most enjoyable part of coaching is a part nobody will tell you about until another coach explains it to you, and that's when your former players come back. Maybe they've gone on to another college. Maybe they're grown men and women. Maybe they have a family of their own, and they bring their family back with them, and you see what they've grown into. And maybe they took just a little bit of the influence they had while they're here at Eastern Florida, and you see some of that in their daily life. And then you have them talk to your players, and you listen to what it is they say. You hear about their experience, you hear about what they're offering up to today's players to look for, what to think about doing, and all of a sudden you get, what? Yeah, I did have a little bit of influence on this young man, this young lady, and they were able to take that and parlay that into a career and go forward. That's probably the most rewarding aspect of it, just to see them when they return. I tell them it's a marvelous place to get your feet on the ground collegiately. It's a terrific place to start your college career, both academically and athletically. We're a small environment. We're a bigger school than people recognize, but if our largest class isn't a whole lot bigger than what they had in high school, the hands-on capability is there. Athletically, okay, we're junior college, but we compete. We show up to play. I never qualify what type of college we are, and we're competing in college events. You got to basically up your game a little bit. And it's unrealistic to think they're going to change overnight. But usually after that first or second tournament, they see what's coming and they recognize, I need to keep getting better. So you're constantly after that. You're constantly just making them aware, keep getting a little bit better, because you're only going to be here for 2 years. Say for a COVID year where we get them for a third, you're going to have them for 2 years and you're going to graduate and you're going to move on. And wherever you go to next, a junior college transfer has a bigger responsibility than a freshman coming into a 4-year school. That 4-year school expects our junior college transfers to hit the ground running seamlessly. They expect them to contribute right away and be a team leader. All the while, that person's got to get ready for it. If we're doing our job here, when we transfer those kids out of here, we'll get a phone call from the coach going, "Hey, thanks for sending me that player. Man, I don't have to worry about this person whatsoever." That's one of the benefits of coming here.